everybody, happy Wednesday. This is Kathy Furman, owner and founder of Furman Creative, where we help small businesses see success online in a world that is dominated by corporations. So recently I've had a few questions about what it is that I do since I've been doing all these live videos. And if you didn't know, I help small businesses with their online marketing. So I help them create social media marketing strategy or content strategies for their website and for their social media pages. So that's a little bit about what I do. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you're hopping on and watching the replay, let me know below so I can reach out and say hi later on. Today we're going to talk about quality versus quantity in the type of content that you are publishing, and this is good for either social media or for your website, either one. And so I have a couple of tips that I put together for you to kind of create, in the past there's always been this kind of mentality that the more you publish, the more content that you create, the better it is, and that's not always the case. So I have a couple of tweaks that you can make to your marketing strategy, and hopefully they are helpful. Let me know definitely if they are in the comments below. So number one, it's not just about stats and demographics anymore. And, you can create these amazing online audiences and target certain demographics of individuals that use Facebook or Instagram or even on Google ads. But that doesn't necessarily mean that's who you should be targeting with everything all the time, because just because your ad is seen by thousands of people, it doesn't mean that it's actually relevant to what's happening in their lives and what struggles they're facing in that day. So it's not just about focusing on the demographics. You need to focus on creating content that starts a conversation, that engages your audience, that gives you a chance to actually learn about who they are, what they need, and how you can help them. So to do that, you need to be current, you need to be relevant, you need to just really take the time to get to know them. So, what makes them laugh? What keeps them awake at night? What worries do they wake up with every single morning? And when you find the answers and you start these conversations with your customers, they're going to be like, oh, this brand really cares about who I am and what I have, what's going on in my life. I'm going to respond and give them some, start this conversation. So, and when that happens and they start to talk to you, whether it's on your video posts or it's on your blog and they're commenting or it's on your social media posts, make sure you're having a conversation, you're replying to them. You're not just a robot, so don't act like one. If somebody was sitting across from you at your kitchen table, you wouldn't ignore them when they asked you a question or responded to something that you had to say. You would engage in a conversation. And whatever you're doing online, you should, make sure that you're still acting like a human and not a robot, because the minute that a customer or somebody that's following you feels like that you're treating them kind of like a number, that they're just taking a ticket, and they're gonna be quick to kind of move on and lose interest in what you have to share. So that is tip number one. Tip number two, it's okay to take a break from content once in a while. You don't always have to create content. You don't always have to be selling. You don't always have to be talking and just filling their news feed with all this information, because really the brain can only handle so much. So once in a while, it's okay, take a break. Post something or write something that's fun for them. Make them laugh, make them smile, make them think about something that isn't, keeping them awake at night or isn't the worry that they wake up with every morning. So post something that's funny, something that's new, that, hey, check this out, did you know? And, teach them and add value to their life in a different way. So don't always push that content, because sometimes it can be a little overbearing depending on their mood for the day or for the week or what's happening in their life. And most important, don't push content on them. I go to so many websites and I see instantly this this pop-up box is coming up saying subscribe to my newsletter, subscribe to our updates, and you can barely figure out, you know, like how to get rid of it, and by the time you X out of it and you go to the next page, it pops up again. And I personally, maybe just because I am a marketer, I find that to be annoying. And if I click out of the box once, I don't want to have to see it again on another page. So don't just force your content on your audience. You know, instead focus on making them want to find your content, making them want to come back and to revisit your website and your social media page because they found what you had to say interesting before. Okay, tip number 3 is be a brand that they can count on. You know, when you show up every single day, or if it's your website and you're posting a blog every single week, if you miss it, they're going to be like, what happened? You know, I thought I could count on them to, you know, help me on this path that I'm on. I thought I could count on them to teach me something new every day. And if you miss that, you may think it's minor, but it could really just tell them that you're not reliable, you're not consistent. So, you know, create a consistent content strategy for your online presence. And my biggest tip for anybody is to create a month's worth of content at a time. So sit down and, you know, brainstorm. Take 30 minutes, take 60 minutes and brainstorm, you know, all these different ideas, and then, you know, assign those topics or assign those ideas to a different day of the entire next month. And then you avoid writer's block, and you avoid this creativity block that kind of plagues some of us from time to time. And you always have something to talk about, and you're consistent, and your audience knows that they can count on you to be there consistently every single day. And my very last tip today, tip number 4, is make it easy for them to find what they want. We are in a world of so much technology and so much innovation that there are some crazy tools that you can use on your website, that you can use on your social media pages. Specifically, bots are really popular now, and it's so easy to build your own bot. You just have to, you know, kind of know what path to take, and a bot can, you know, pop up as soon as somebody visits your Facebook page. Welcome them to your Facebook page, just like you would welcome a customer to your storefront. If they walked in, you wouldn't ignore them. So when they're on your Facebook page, you shouldn't ignore them either. You should welcome them, tell them that you see them, tell them that you appreciate them, and these build your own bots make that really possible, especially for small businesses, because there are free versions, and even the paid versions are relatively inexpensive every month. So those are my tips today for you know, creating quality content and to keep your audience coming back. If you had questions, drop them in the comments below, and make sure you say hi when you hop on, and let me know where you're checking in from. Have a fabulous Wednesday.